Hey guys, so there is a bunch of videos going around like TikTok and YouTube right now talking about this girl who claims she fell in love with her psychiatrist. Now, I find that topic to be very triggering. There's something about it that I'm like afraid to watch it because, but I'm going to tell you something. From my perspective, falling in love with your psychiatrist is freaking hilarious because I've been to many psychiatrists in my life, and they're just lately I started having female ones. I've always had like men psychiatrists. They're old, they're stuffy, they're not attractive whatsoever, and you're sitting there telling them all of your embarrassing symptoms and things like that. It just and I guess it kind of depends on your psychiatrist too. Like the last one I had, the one that retired, I could actually talk to her about my personal life and maybe certain problems and things like that. And she was unusual for that. So maybe in this girl's case, her psychiatrist was a little extra, how are things going kind of person, because my last psychiatrist would email my therapist and they would talk with each other about me. It's like I had a team. And I think that's why everything has been going so well. So when I met the psychiatrist a couple weeks ago, the new one, and it was like a horrible experience, I was like, this isn't somebody I want on my team. I have severe mental illness. I have to, I'm okay now. My mental, excuse me. My mental illness is severe to the point that it's pretty much the focal point of my life. My life pretty much entails managing symptoms of my mental illness, and then I have this nice quiet life in between. Like I quit working back in March or April, I can't remember, and I just stay home now and keep the house clean, and I hang out all day with my dog, and I just got that hamster. We've been hanging out with a hamster. And I think, too, I've seen people in comments back to the psychiatry thing. Some people have said that people with certain mental disorders might be more likely to think the doctor loves you back. Like, I've never felt that way about a clinician, so, it's just hard for me to imagine. And I think that if I thought someone was coming on to me, I would probably not go back to that person. But, I don't know. It's just never happened. So what are these mental disorders where you think in your delusions that somebody likes you back? And that kind of reminds me of like a stalker. Because sometimes, I remember working at Applebee's back in my 20s, being polite to certain customers. Like one time, this cheap-ass motherfucker, he always ordered water, okay? So when he came to sit down, I automatically went and got him his water because I knew that's what he was going to have. But he took that as like a sign that I was in love with him. And he ended up kind of like I wouldn't call him a stalker. He was just more like an annoying patron that would yell things at you across the room and stuff like that. But he did it to other girls too. But that's just kind of like an example. Like he took my gesture as, oh my God, she's in love with me. No. So maybe it's like something like that. I don't know. I meet my new psychiatrist tomorrow. I looked at her picture. She looks hip. She looks kind of young and hip. I read her profile. She's got some history in forensic psychiatry, which makes me a little nervous because sometimes people who work in forensics, this has just been my experience with professionals because this does come up sometimes. They do tend to look at you more as a specimen or a problem or as a troublemaker. things like that. So I'm a little worried, but she does specialize in bipolar disorder. And that's what really matters, is I need somebody who is well-versed in bipolar disorder, because there's a lot of misconceptions and a lot of misinformation about it. Like, for example, back in my horrible days of DBT and BPD, I think I've talked about this on here before. You know, bipolar is said to be a mood disorder. There's a lot more to it, but when the DSM means mood, they're talking about depression and mania. So you would be, my depressions are scary, flat, empty, netherworld, demons. Mania, I just get like super creative, and like this last time I had mania, my little spending spree was planned. And I bought just like a bunch of hamster supplies, and I put my mania to use. You know what I mean? And I was a little psychotic, but I dealt with it. The one thing that is a little bit concerning about this new psych is that she says she takes a holistic approach. That's not necessarily a good thing to me. I need somebody who understands my medication needs and things like that. I'm just very protective, because I've been tossed around and manipulated and bullshitted so much in the mental health industry. And it's really important that they don't yell at me and talk to me like I'm a child, because that happens a lot too. They forget that you have autonomy. So the idea of a girl falling in love with her psychiatrist is quite funny. He must have been attractive. That's just never been the case. Never been the case. Say hi to the little hamster. Hey, buddy. Okay, guys, I guess that's it for today. I'll try to watch the information about the girl falling in love with her psychiatrist. I'm telling you, it's just very triggering. Okay, so I'll talk to you later. Bye.